Okay, if you're an investor of any sorts, real estate investing should definitely be on your short list. I'm going to go over the reasons why I think real estate is a great alternative to a bunch of other options out there on the market. Thanks for following along. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the message. Okay, there's a ton of options out there. You can invest in real estate, you can invest in stocks, you can invest in gold, cryptocurrency, cars, whatever. But I do think that real estate is by far on the top of the list for a multitude of reasons. Number one is that real estate is a tangible object. It's something that you can touch and feel and potentially even live in. So I think real estate, in contrast to, say, the stock market, you're not just looking at your smartphone to see whether or not your stock has gone up, but rather you can drive by your investment, you can touch your investment, you can remodel your investment. And that's why I think it being a tangible object and it being some sort of physical matter is why I feel comfortable with it. Now, financial planners, financial advisors, they might say the opposite. They might say that the stock market is the way to go, and they can give you a graph as to why history has proved that. But I like real estate because it's something that I'm familiar with. So with that in mind, when you invest, it's important to invest in what you know. Now, that's not saying even if you don't know anything about real estate, it's something that can be achieved by watching videos like this, by studying up on the market, by finding out what your local market can do for you, because there is a lot of growth potential from an investment standpoint. Okay, number two, the reason why I like real estate investing is because of the potential appreciation. Now, much like stocks over time, they can show you a graph that it ebbs and flows up and down, and houses do the same. So historically speaking, if we look back, 50 years from now, that same $35,000 house is now $400,000. So a lot of that could be inflation and many other factors, but over time, historically speaking, even despite all the troubles that have been in the past, say like the 2008 crisis, there's never been a market in history that has not appreciated to a higher level than what it was prior to that particular collapse. So the appreciation factor is phenomenal. Now, it is important to note that appreciation is not steady throughout every neighborhood. Some neighborhoods appreciate faster, some homes appreciate faster than others. There are assets and education that you need to do your due diligence on picking the appropriate house in the appropriate neighborhood to ensure that it has the greatest chance for appreciation over time. The third reason is that it provides steady income. So you're going to be getting passive income while owning the investment itself. So much like a stock that pays dividends, the dividends are not going to be at the level of percentage that, say, rents would be on a home per the cost of the asset that you invest in. So if you purchase a house, say for $250,000 and you charge $1,000 a month, not only are you going to get the appreciation, but you're going to get that passive income in addition to that on a monthly basis as well. Now, with that said, you can also utilize leverage in real estate that you can't use from like a stock scenario. So again, the stocks are can be manipulated, but housing you can use as leverage. So let's just say you have, you did a remodel and you came up with, $75,000 in equity. Well, then you can utilize that equity as leverage to potentially purchase another home as well. Now, in contrast to the stock market, you are susceptible to what the market is doing at that time. So, for example, if you own stocks and you want to pull out those stocks to purchase a home or purchase another asset or take care of some sort of emergency, you're reliant on what the market is doing that day. Now, I'm not saying that you're alleviated by that in the housing sector, but it's less of a risk, in my opinion, and the utilization of leverage from a home equity standpoint is far greater than, say, a stock sell-off. Now, the fourth reason why I like real estate investing is that it does diversify your portfolio. So no matter which way you go, the old adage is true: don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let's just say you put all your eggs in the real estate basket and the economy collapses, you're forced to sell off all your property. Of course, you're going to be at a loss. Granted, you don't have the equity built in it over time. But same thing with the stock market. If the stock market does crash, then you're susceptible to those losses. Now, the reason why I like real estate from that standpoint is because it's not controlled by a governing board of directors, and it can't be manipulated in the same way as the stock market. Now, I don't want this to become a real estate versus stock market scenario. I'm just using them because they're easy to compare and contrast. The same could be said about cryptocurrency, and we all know how that panned out to this point. So just diversifying your portfolio is incredibly important so that if one tanks, you prop the other one up. Now, a big proponent for the stock market is index funds, because it does exactly that. You're not investing in one particular stock, but rather, let's just use the S&P 500. You're investing in the top 500 performing stocks that are managed appropriately. The fifth reason is the limited supply of real estate can be crucial to the security and the safety net of an investment strategy. So they only make so many homes. Granted, they're building them on a daily basis, but it's a finite resource. There's a limited supply, and right now we're at a undersupply for what the population is demanding. So we have this commodity that is upheld by the supply and demand. So it being a finite resource, it's going to continue to keep the values high, thus protecting your investment over time. Now, let's just use the stock market versus the real estate market. It's important to note that the barrier to entry is far less on, say, a stock market than it is residential housing or investment housing. So for example, you can purchase a stock at whatever rate it is. Let's use Apple as an example. So you could purchase an Apple stock for $300 and be investing in that Apple stock. Now, contrary, housing is a little different. You can source funds from other parties like private lenders, but the barrier to entry is a little higher than what it would be with the stock market. Now, real estate is not the just buy and hold and never have to do anything. So that's something that you should consider in your due diligence phase in order to decide which route you want to go. Stocks are a set it and forget it. You get to monitor it on a daily basis. Sometimes that makes you crazy. Housing is a little more in depth. You have to, plan for vacancies. You have to plan for potential repairs. Say the furnace goes out. So housing is a little more active than one might think in comparison to some other forms of investment. But above and beyond all of that, you can depreciate real estate that you can't do in other asset classes. If you want to know a little bit more about depreciation, please check the other video and all the benefits that it can provide to you as a real estate investor. Now, just to clarify, real estate, stocks, gold, other investments, they all carry their appropriate risks. It's incredibly important to note that you need to figure out your long-term goals in determining what kind of investor you want to be. Do you want to be a buy and hold real estate investor with some work along the way? Or do you want to be completely hands off, just set it and forget it and hope that the market climbs up as it should and is anticipated to do so? So lots of factors in there. Please feel free to reach out. I would love to chat your ear off. Whether you're a proponent for or against real estate, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.